What's up, badass consistency challengers? Talia Reiser here. For those who don't know me, hashtag live if you guys are live, hashtag replay if you are on the replay. Drop down in the comments, where you're from, what you're doing here. I'd love to get to know a little bit of you, get to know you guys a little bit better, okay? So for those who don't know me, my name is Talia Reiser. What's up, Emily? Drop some hashtag lives below, hashtag on the replay. If you are on the replay, throw me some hearts, throw me some likes, throw me some angry faces, whatever your mood is. I don't care if you're angry. Come at me with the anger, because we're about to work on that today, okay? We're going to work on it today. So I hope you guys have your notebooks ready, because I got mine, because honestly, there's no way that I could get on this, because this is a massive honor. I am so honored to be here. And have been asked by Brent to do this for you guys. And I had to write notes down, because literally it's like squirrel brain. So just stay with me. Just stay with me. I promise it gets better. It gets better than it is right now. What's up, Kelly? What's up, Alicia, Cassandra, Kelly? Yes, blue blockers. They're my blue blockers. And you guys can see my fancy schmancy ring light in the background, because I'm all cool and social media savvy now. And you guys will know that I didn't used to be, as I tell my story. So hashtag live if you're live, hashtag replay if you're on the replay. My name is Talia Reiser. For those who don't know me, which probably a lot of you don't, because I haven't been in network marketing that long. And I'm assuming most everybody in this group is in network marketing in some capacity, or at least an entrepreneur, right? So thank you, Bryn Lang, the Lang Bang, for having me on to train you all on this topic. It is a topic near and dear to my heart, because it is a topic that I have struggled with for a long, long time. And I am really excited to share with you all the things that I have found. So I haven't been in network marketing for very long. Honestly, a little over 2 years, okay? Been with my current company, and Brent has been mentoring me since I started. I think we're in our 15th month. So just a little over a year. In my last company, I only ever hit one rank. It's great. Worked really hard. Super frustrated all the time. Doing all the things I did not like, right? I was doing phone calls and samples and in-home parties and booth events, and, having to talk to people in the line at grocery stores, and, do all those things that most people don't like. And then that company went kaput. It went under. The FTC was like, oh, guess what? A lot of people are spending a lot of money to build this business, and they're not making any. Hello? And then all of a sudden, I was sent a video of a blonde that had a missing tooth. Her name is Bryn Lang. And I said, you know what? If I'm going to do this network marketing thing again, which I totally didn't want to do, I was like, I'm going to go get a 9-to-5. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a 9-to-5. I saw Bryn, and I said, you know what? Dang it. Once it's in you, you can't get it out. I'm like, I want to learn from her. Okay? So I said, okay, whatever she's doing, that's what I'm just going to commit to doing it. I'm just going to go, and I'm going to pick her brain. I'm going to suck her dry of all of her knowledge until she says, I can't give you any more. And then I'm going to find somebody else to get some knowledge from. So you guys are in here because you're getting knowledge from a freaking master, okay? She took somebody that had very little success and showed me a way that I could be absolutely who I am and do so much better and completely blow my potential out of the water. So everybody in here, you absolutely can do that too. Love you, Bryn. So a little bit about me, like I said, not been in network marketing very long, came here, have had some great success, but honestly, why I started in network marketing was because I was a new mom. My husband worked 200 hours every 2 weeks. We never saw him. He actually worked in a different state, so we really didn't even live together. 21 days a month, he's gone. I've got this baby, got this kid. I'm lonely. I don't feel like I'm, my self-worth was super low. My confidence super low. I just didn't see a better way, lower risk, right? The lowest risk, the lowest overhead, easiest way for a normal average person to make money from home. I was like, okay, well, And I was a network marketing hater. I was a hater. Didn't want to do it at all. And so I started my first company because I was like, well, I mean, I guess I'll just give this thing a shot. Didn't have experience, didn't have any success. And then I saw that video of Bryn and I'm like, well, dang it. I guess since I just lost everything that I was working for, which was like the $50 a month that I was getting paid, I'm going to give this thing one more shot. And within my first month, in my new company, I hit 12 ranks, 12. And you might think, wow, oh my gosh, girl, go you. That's so impressive. So impressive. And I impressed myself coming from no success. But you know what happened after that? And that's why we get into this is where we're getting into this training, you guys. So what happened after that was I stayed stuck. So I had boom, success. And then beep for a really long time. For a really long, like for 9 months, pretty much. I was at the same level. No improvement. In fact, there was some backtracking, and I had to really take a real look at what I was and wasn't doing. Okay. So this is where I got frustrated, was in that 9 months. And so let's talk about frustration. What is frustration? Because you might be feeling it. You might have felt it. I still feel it sometimes, but I understand that frustration is the gap. It's the space between where you perceive you want to be and where you perceive that you are, okay? So you perceive that you're right here. There's this space because you perceive that you should be here and you're right here. And it's that gap. And it makes you mad. It makes you frustrated. You get all negative-y and complainy. And trust me, I was there for 9 months. Ask Bryn Lang. Even though I was talking to her almost every day and she was telling me the same stuff every day, I didn't want to hear it. Okay. So what does this training mean? And it means that the things that are keeping you from being consistent, the things that are keeping you comfortable, the things that are keeping you complacent, those are your obstacles. Those are your obstacles. But guess what? They're your solution. They are your solution. The obstacle becomes the solution. There's a really cool book that I'm actually in the middle of reading. It's called The Obstacle is the Way. It's by Ryan Holiday. Highly recommend. Download it on Audible because I don't sit there and read anymore. I'll just fall asleep. It's #momlife, okay? If I can listen to it, get ready, or I'm driving in the car, way easier. So The Obstacle is the Way. It's amazing. So your comfort zone and your complacency are going to kill your dreams way faster than any no someone's going to tell you. Any, perceived opinion that you have of someone else, like they're going to think they're not going to like me after I ask them if they want to try my products or they're open to my business. Like, we do all these crazy things in our head. We work up all these stories, our perceived perceptions of how other people think about us. And it stops us from doing anything. So guess what? People aren't going to like you. Guess what? People are going to say no. A lot of them. Okay? A lot of no's. You guys have heard go for no, all of that stuff. Like Ray Higdon, who I actually hired as my personal coach at this point, because Bryn was like literally my brain. Talia is in your brain, and there is a level that I can no longer help you with. So go look for some additional coaching. Well, I just went bigger when, I was like, go Ray or go home. So I hired Ray Higdon. And so something that he says a lot is we have to become almost immune to the no's and to the criticisms, okay? And we have to stop preventing ourselves from getting to the next level. And that comfort zone, that complacency, that no, it's going to kill the potential that you do have. You all have so much potential. It's ridiculous. Do you know? Do you see it for yourself? It's crazy. So yes, sometimes it sucks. We're human. Sometimes I still get bummed out when I don't get a response that I want, but we have to manage expectations, right? So what I like to do is I like to expect people to say no. I like to expect no responses. I expect people to ghost me. I expect more people to say no than more people to say yes. I expect to not want to do things. I expect to feel frustrated sometimes. I expect to feel uncomfortable. But listen, you have to ask yourself 2 questions when you think about your business. 2 questions that are really important to ask. Why did you start doing this? For me, I started because I wanted my family to be together. I love my husband. I want to be around him. I wanted my daughter to know her father when he's working 21 days a month in another state and she's having to hug a phone to tell him goodnight, and cry. And I have FaceTime dates with my husband. And I mean, we're living paycheck to paycheck while he's breaking his back to build a life that we enjoy, that he can't even participate with us because he's not even there. Are you kidding me? No. So that's why I started. Now why you start is that reason. It can change over time. But that's why I started. So I thought to myself, if I don't show up, how about if I don't show up? If I don't show up, if I don't stay consistent, if I don't do the simple everyday things that I know are going to move me forward, move my chess piece forward, whatever in my business, what's the alternative? What am I going to do? Okay, I'm going to go get a 9-to-5 and spend more time away from my kid, and she doesn't have a daughter or a father, and now she's not going to have a mom either because now I got to find full-time childcare, and then I just get to see her a couple hours a night before she goes to bed, and her daddy's not even here. That is not a good solution. What is my solution? Guess what? My solution is to show up because there wasn't a better solution. So it's natural, you guys. I want you to hear this. It is natural to resist simple activities. It's natural to resist everything. There's another good book. It's called The War of Art, not Art of War. It's called War of Art. It's by Stephen Pressfield. Another one I listened to. It's literally like a 2-hour listen. So I'd listen maybe 15, 20 minutes in the morning as I got ready before my 4-nager would wake up. And the entire thing is about the internal resistance we feel when we come up against something that we know we should do or we could do, and we just crawl back in and we're like, no, makes me uncomfortable. No, I don't think I could do it. No, I don't want to. I'll just wait till tomorrow. No, this person said that I couldn't, so maybe they're right. I don't think I will. Like all of that resistance is normal. It's a human response. It's our internal monologue that we have to work on. So the more important something is in your life, guess what's going to happen? The more resistance you're going to feel. So when you're like, oh, I could send 10 people this message, you understand that actually doesn't take much time at all. I could sit on the toilet and send probably 10 to 15 messages in like less than a minute, maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I don't know. We may give ourselves some extra time. You know what I mean? Like we can find some minutes to send some messages, to talk to some people. So that's just an example. But you're going to feel massive resistance, but it's not who you are, okay? It is not, you are not the resistance. It's just all of the stuff, all of the things you have learned in life. It comes up and it's like a mirror and it's put in front of your face when something is important to you, okay? And a lot of people stop. They let that resistance take over. So what do we have to do? We have to face it. So start a list. If you feel resistance, if your immediate response is, oh, I don't want to, I don't like that, that makes me feel uncomfortable, write it down. I want you just to write it down. Maybe don't do anything about it right now, but write it down. Acknowledge and pinpoint the things that make you feel uncomfortable. We have to name them because guess what happens when you name them? They lose their power over you. You can start to chip away at how you can overcome them. But if we sit back and don't acknowledge those things, it's going to be really hard. You got to become self-aware. So when you know you're starting to feel that icky inside feeling, write it down. That's what I started doing. I'm like, what are the things that I don't like to do? Why do I not like to do them? Okay, now we got to figure it out. So naysayers, the people in your life that may not support you, negative Nancy's, whatever, that's actually resistance too. That's external resistance. That's something that's pulling you away from what you want to do. So what do I say about those people? Learning how to set boundaries, cut them out. I cut them out. I unfriended family on Facebook. Block. If you are not a positive, happy person on my newsfeed, block. I don't understand all these people that are like, man, I got to get off social media. It's so negative. I don't have those people on my Facebook. I see lots of positive, happy things all the time, even little cat videos that make me smile. You know, I just surround myself with the type of people that I want to be around. And if they're negative, I don't care how close you are to me. I don't care. I will cut you off in a heartbeat. I love you and I will love you from over here. It's like bad breath. It is like bad breath. Their bad breath can stay over there. I don't want to smell their bad breath. Okay? You take your bad breath. I love you and your bad breath way over there so that it doesn't come anywhere near my not so bad breath. Okay? That's how I think about it. It's really helped me with my frustration. It's helped me let go. And the minute you start creating those boundaries, the more confident you're going to feel. The minute you start acknowledging the resistance, the more confident you're going to feel. Because you can name it and you can say, no, no more. I'm not going to do it. I am not going to do it. So, okay. So what did I do essentially? And this is hard. When I started to feel resistance the most, and it started, I remember there's one moment, back last fall, it was last fall, that I was like, I don't want to talk to people who intimidate me. I don't want to talk to them. Like, I'm just going to keep, if you don't intimidate me, then I'm going to ask you if you're open. I'll talk to you, you know? But I took my chicken list, and I remember because I messaged Bryn right after I did this. And I messaged every single person on my chicken list. And y'all, I was probably like shaky and clammy and felt like I was going to vomit afterwards. But you know what it did? From that moment on, it unlocked my potential. And it was a 9-month waiting period of me trying to figure my crap out. Okay. But in that moment that I did that activity that scared me the most, that I felt the most resistance about, it was like 4 months later, I hit a massive, massive level of leadership in my business because I started doing the things for 30, 60, 90 days that I wasn't. And then boom. I had to wait. I had to be patient. I had to work through it. But I faced the resistance and I did it. So now what do I do in my business? Because I'm ready to go. I'm ready to have so much money that I literally don't know what to do with myself because I want to give so much and I want to do so much that now my goal, guess what? My husband's at home now, you guys. Like, he's home because of this business. There was I'm trying not to get emotional. But there was a picture I sent Bryn the other day of my husband and my little girl at her first t-ball game. And I sent her a picture and I said, this is going to make me emotional. I said, if it weren't for this business, she would be standing there alone right now. So because I faced my resistance, because I pushed myself and got uncomfortable, we changed the dynamic of our entire family within a year's time. And I got super freaking intentional about it. So my little girl now has a picture from her very first t-ball game with sitting on her daddy's lap. Like, you have to step back and think about that. Think about what you're doing and the memories you're creating in your life and know that it's absolutely possible. Okay. So, anyway, part of letting go. Part of letting go is becoming okay with being uncomfortable. So let's talk about what frustration is. Let's talk about what being uncomfortable is. Being uncomfortable, you guys, it's just not knowing what comes next. That's being uncomfortable. That's what makes you uncomfortable, is not knowing what comes next. Okay? So you are never going to feel 100% comfortable. We're all human. There's going to be things that are going to make you uncomfortable for the rest of your life. There's still things, every time I go live on my Facebook, I'm like, I'm a little uncomfortable. And I got to do the Bryn Lang thing. 3, 2, 1, just press the dang button. Just like look away, send the messages, send. That's what I did with my chicken list. I had to be okay with the unknown. I had to expect the no response. I had to expect the no's. I had to expect not to get the responses that I wanted. I had to manage the expectations to have no expectations, to just do the dang thing and see what happened. Be wildly unrealistic, as Bryn likes to say. Like, she's wildly unrealistic. Very. And that is a massive lesson to learn, because I was always like, numbers, what's the strategy? How is this going to get me from point A to point B? That's not how this works. You got to be a crazy person. You have to be unrealistic and just do it. You just got to do it. So the solution is the thing that's standing in your way. It's that resistance. And because it's the only way to get from where you are right now to the next level, you cannot get from where you are right now to the next level if you don't deal with this stuff. If you don't deal with this stuff, you ain't going anywhere. You're not. But you learn to work through it. You learn to take those obstacles and understand that you can only control so much. So listen, we are in the middle of this really weird thing happening in the world, right? And everyone's all like PO'd and like, oh my gosh, we're into the world. I'm going to crawl into a hole and be depressed for 18 years. Like, we can't control it. We can't control it. So yeah, I was bummed, man. It affected me for several weeks until I realized, like, okay, what can I do? The people who can say, what can I do? What can I take out of this? What can I control? I can control my attitude, my mindset, and my actions. It's the only thing. So any obstacle you ever come up against, any one of them, what can you control? Those 3 things to find a solution. That's the difference between staying stuck and getting to the next level. You're going to take that obstacle, and guess what, you guys? Obstacles have weaknesses. Bigger obstacles, bigger weaknesses. You have to find the weakness, the soft spot, and you have to exploit it, and then you dominate it. You dominate it. That's what you do. So you're faced with a problem. Okay, I'm faced with a problem. Instead of getting negative, PO'd, and just gonna shut down and not do anything, how can I make this work for me? So we hit our biggest level of business at the beginning of this pandemic, okay? And so a lot of people had explosion. There were a lot of people that had explosion. There were a lot of people that didn't. There were a lot of companies that crumbled. And you saw people then slowly slow down over the summer. Things got weird. And then, momentum, boom. So there's a lot of people right now that are having a hard time. But all the things that I'm telling you guys, man, I stayed with it. I stayed with the positivity, with the mindset, the attitude, the pushing for more. If I can make something great happen in the middle of all of this crap, think about once it clears up, think about any obstacle that's ever thrown my way, that I'm gonna handle it like a boss. I can handle it like a boss. So I just looked at September for our team, month to month, year to year. That's how I want to base my success. Am I growing year to year? Am I growing month to month? Because we know there's ebb and flow. Last September to this September, we doubled. And my team members experienced massive success because your mindset is going to have a trickle-down effect to anybody that you come into contact with. So you take that obstacle, you find a solution, and you check your attitude at the door, okay? You check it. You can have your bad days. You can be pissy. Hope that's okay, Bryn. But you get into action and you have your minimums and you do that. You do those daily activities no matter what, even if it's just like a very bare minimum. Okay. So what is actually making you emotional? And listen, your time and your energy, the time and energy you spend being negative, complaining, not getting into action is only increasing. It's increasing the amount of time before you get to where you want to be. If you ever get there, you're literally just wasting your time. There's nothing, what is going to change by how you feel? Nothing's going to change. But you can affect change by having a better attitude, a better mindset, and getting into action. You can change. You can change things, even if you don't feel like it. You're resisting it. Do it. Chase after it. So your perspective is what's making you emotional, because we can look at someone and say, I'm super objective, Sarah, you don't really, like this is what you should do in life. Like, I have the solution for you. But you can't look at yourself and say, man, like, I'm super objective, I don't feel anything, and here is exactly what I need to do. That's what makes it hard, is the emotions of it. That's why you write down the things that you feel the most resistance about, the things that scare you the most, the things you don't want to do. And then you chip away at each one of them. You find the weakness, you take the obstacle, you find the solution, and you work through it. And a lot of that is really just remedied by getting into action and doing the normal, simple, everyday things that are so basic, and we want to overcomplicate everything. Literally, that's usually the solution, is like the most basic, simple stuff. That's it. That is it. So you got to become a stone cold killer. You got to become unshakable. And every time you face resistance and you do it anyway, every time you see somebody freak out or the world freak out or some big, huge, you're going to use it instead of let it abuse you. Instead of letting it abuse you, you're going to use it. And so you're one step closer. You're just one step closer to working through the obstacle. Okay? There's so many things I still feel resistance about, you guys. But I'll tell you a funny story, okay? This has nothing to do with network marketing, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And I think I've told this story to Bryn before. But here, so I was it was like my early 20s. I was in Chicago, and I was on vacation. And I'm walking down the street, like, with some friends, and we come across this guy who has a really cool motorcycle, and we're talking to him. And just randomly says, like, hey, yeah, have you guys ever done, do you guys know about air guitar competitions? And I'm like, what did you say? Can you repeat yourself? Air guitar? What? Yeah, no, bro, never heard of this. Cool guy. And he's like, well, I just filmed a Dr. Pepper commercial because I'm actually the world champion in air guitar. And I'm like, are you on drugs? He's like, no, here, look at the commercial. He literally was paid by Dr. Pepper. His name is Nordic Thunder. You can still find the commercial on YouTube, and he's actually become a very good friend of mine. His name is Justin Howard, and you can find him on Facebook too. But he filmed a Dr. Pepper commercial. He was flown to Finland to compete in the World Air Guitar Competition, and he asked me, he's like, hey, you just got a unique thing about you. Like, have you ever thought about competing in air guitar? And I'm like, no. Do I look like a nerd? I mean, maybe I do. I don't know. Like, what about me says that I would want to get up in front of hundreds of people and play a guitar that's like imaginary? No. That was my internal resistance. Even back then, there was something inside of me that was like, no, if it scares you, like, do it. Just do it anyway. So I went back home after that vacation, and I contacted him, and I said, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. So find me a competition then, mister, and call your bluff. He's like, actually, in about 3 months. Oh, no. It was like 30 days later. That's why it was even scarier. It's like in 30 days, I was living in Nashville, Tennessee at the time. He's like, there is actually an air guitar competition because we have our national competition coming up. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Sorry, busy that day, can't do it. And then I said, you know what, Talia? You got to do this. You got to do this thing. And I said, okay, man. Like, what do I need to know? He's like, I will help you with song, and you got to come up with like this character, this person that you are. You got to come up with your routine. I'm like, this is absolutely ridiculous. I am going to get up in front of people and perform. I feel stupid. It feels embarrassing. It feels absolutely insanely ridiculous. But I did it. I created a character. Her name is Little Miss Iron Miss. She loves America. She loved 80s hair metal, and she was there to rock out. I showed up at that competition, and I actually placed second. I lost first place by 0.5 points. I got some kind of deduction for some incorrect air guitar. I don't know what I did wrong. And then US Air Guitar, which is a real organization, contacted me after that and said, hey, we want to fly you to Denver, Colorado so you can compete in the Dark Horse competition. I gotta do this again? Like, oh my gosh. And I went. I lost, but I went. And here's the thing. While this is absolutely ridiculous, I mean, I was singing into, like, I got asked to do more performances after that. I was singing into a hairbrush, playing, I mean, it's crazy. And it still is going on to this day. They still have these competitions, and the World Championship is in Finland. But here's what I learned about that and about myself in that moment. By facing massive resistance, by doing something absolutely ridiculous, making me so freaking uncomfortable and frustrated too. I was frustrated with myself. Like, why don't I want to, why does this scare me? And I had to work through all this stuff. Massive amounts of confidence, massive amounts of untouchability, because there was nothing after that anyone could say to me to make me feel bad about myself. Like, go ahead, criticize me. I just got up on a stage in front of hundreds of people and made a fool out of myself, and they clapped for me. What you got? Bring it on. Criticize me, okay? Because you wouldn't get up on that stage, would you? Right? No. So after that, I went on in life to do a lot of other crazy things, okay? Because I knew if it scared me, and I could handle that I could handle anything, So take that as an example, that anything that you might hesitate about, any of that resistance that you feel, I just really encourage you guys to go and freaking do it, because I promise you it's way less worse than getting up in front of hundreds of people and playing a fake guitar that doesn't even exist. Probably better than that. So if you want to grow, this is something that I heard from Ray the other night, and I thought it was really, really good. If you want to grow at the rate of your potential, and your potential is freaking massive, but potential don't mean crap unless you do something with it. So if you want to grow at the rate of your potential, you have to chase being uncomfortable. And you gotta let it go. The only way you're gonna get to the next level of where you perceive, because I promise that frustration of where you perceive you are, where you perceive you wanna be, that gap, you let go down here, you start doing this level of where you perceive you should be, man, you are going to just freaking fly past that. Like, you don't even know what's in store for your future. And that's what being uncomfortable is about. You don't know. You're not gonna know. But how willing are you to just go after it? So you have to anticipate being uncomfortable. You have to welcome it. You have to expect it. And you gotta run after it. Because that is how you let go and level up. That's how you're gonna blow up in your life, in your business, everything. It changes everything. I am a completely different person. It changes freaking everything. Okay? I hope you guys found some hashtag value. Mic drop. I have a fake Here's my fake air guitar. I just dropped it. Here's my fake mic. I just dropped it. Hashtag value if you guys found some value. And listen, if you could be this ridiculous and build a business, man, like there is hope. There is hope for everybody out there. And if you want to follow me for more of my entertainment, my craziness, hop on over to my Facebook. There's a follow button. Follow me. Okay, I'm here. I will be checking comments if you guys have questions. And hashtag value if you found, hashtag value if you found any value in this. I don't know. I don't know if you did, but I love you guys. Thank you, Bryn, for the opportunity. This has been, oh man, this is so much fun for me. So love you. Thank you for, having me on here and accepting me and all of my craziness. And I'm going to find some of those air guitar videos, at least some pictures, and I'll drop them in the comments because I swear, you guys, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. Okay. I love you. Hashtag value. If you found some value, you can always follow me on my Facebook page. Love y'all. And go out and freaking do something today. Do something today that makes you feel uncomfortable. Do it. Love y'all. Peace.